Guys, welcome to my channel. So here's one of the enterprise requirement says to load huge amount of data from database and show it to on UI, and we need sorting and filtering facility also that should happens from backend itself. So the resolution is we can use grid data source with pagination, and the filtering and sorting we can do it in DB itself. Writing static query won't help you here. We need to use criteria builder. It's a hibernate spring GPU, you can say. Okay, uh, functionality which will provide you dynamic query to achieve sorting filtering with any column. Okay, so let's get started with the practical session. So here I have a simple grid ready here. Okay, in app component there's nothing much in here, so I have just raw data and columns data. Okay, if I'm going too fast, let me go slow. Okay, so I have just style tag, then I have class, I have raw data and the column definition. Okay, now in app.component the .ts file, what I have is I have mm, you can consider I have raw data and the column definitions. Okay, now even this also will work. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm just calling an API just to show you I have a data. I'm able to fetch data from database. Okay, so you can see here I'm calling an API here, app service, and I have the response. I'm assigning that response to raw data. Okay, so if I run this, you see the data, but you don't see any pagination, even sorting filtering, nothing will work. Okay, now if you really see localhost to, yeah, it's to console, just connect it and just run the query company. Okay, if you run it, I have around 5,000 of record. Maybe it's thousands of record. Okay, maybe it's row limit 1,000, so let's move to 10,000. Now you can see here I have some around 5,000 of row here, but in hgrid you see some 15 record something. Okay, because I have got it, but I don't have any pagination, nothing is there here. There's no sorting, there's no filtering, there's nothing here. Okay, so let's paste some code to enable the sorting facility. What I'll do, I'll just undo here. Okay, I need to mention grid option and ungrid. So first what I'll do, I'll just pagination sorting. Okay, I'll just have this. So what I'm doing is I'm currently using pagination true. I'm mentioning what is the default size, what is a cache block. Cache block will help you maintaining and caches, which means it won't load the data again and again for uh, for once the data is loaded, then it won't load it again. Okay, now enable range selection, that is that's for just a selection. Okay, now grid options and grid grid ready. So these two are most important you can say properties of grid, but we have to handle it. So I can just copy paste and have grid ready and grid option ready. So what I'll do, I'll just copy from here and I'll paste it over. So this is my backend. Okay, so I'll copy paste it over here. Okay, or I can do it here. So if you still need it, you can have this, just very simple functionality. There's nothing more in that. So what I'll do is I have a grid option here. Okay, grid option have default column variable which have sortable and filter true, which means I'm providing sorting and filtering operations to edge grid, okay? And this is raw model infinite, which means this will help you to traverse data, okay, infinitely. Now edge grid on grid ready, which means once the grid is ready, so what are the params you need it, okay? So for now I'm not checking for any database, okay? I don't have anything, so I'm just doing it. If you see, it won't work at all because we haven't specified any data source, any API or nothing. So let's go ahead and assign a data source, okay? So what I'll do, I'll just assign a data source here. Now I'm just copying, okay? There's nothing here. I have a data source of ID data source, okay? Now if I what I can do is, okay, now so I'm just having a data source with params, okay? Now these params will have your sort model, your filter model, okay? So first here I'm retrieving a sort model. So I just need two param. One is whether the sort is in ascending order or descending order. The other is with which columns the sorting should happen, okay? The same here. You can see here sort, like it says sort, it's ascending or descending. The call ID, it says the column name, for which column you need the sorting. So what so this is my request for, okay? If you see here, you can see there's filter model, there's column ID, there's sort, and some extra data if you want to pass it, okay? Now if I go here, now you can see here I have assigned column ID, the sort. These two are only for sorting, okay? Sort is for ascending or descending, call is for column name, call id is for column name, uh, for which the sorting should happen, okay? Now filter model, this filter model is we'll get filter model from params dot filter. So this will give you all the information regarding filter, like which columns, it's what type of filter we have, equals, not equals, contains, not contains, starts with, ends with, all those things, okay? And I'm passing that uh, request filter in my API. So first I'm mentioning that request is here. Now I'm mentioning the current page and the page size here, okay, in API. What I'm doing is I'm calling just params success callback, then I'm assigning a content and total element. See, these are the pagination, okay? The response is pagination. So the content is the actual data and the total element is the total number of record available, okay? So that's it. So if we do this, it's about front end work is done. So for your information, I'll just how do I extend it? Full window, okay, I'll minimize this, okay? Yeah. Oh, maximized. Minimize. Okay, so for your reference, I'll just scroll that my entire file line by line. You can see here color data, these are educate params which we need it. We have request with sort and filter, then we have data source and edging. Then what I'm doing is I have some default size store data, and I think now you can remove this function itself. You can comment out age grid itself, as we don't need it, so we can comment out the age grid filter. Now we need grid options with row model as infinite, on grid change, and the data source, okay? Yeah, that's it. We need one more thing here. Whenever the page changes, then we need to assign the current page. So that's what I'm doing here. This is the last one. Okay, that's it. The front end work is totally done. So I'm getting some error, so let me see that. Okay, quick fix. We can implement the ng on method. Okay, so that is for front end. Okay, now backend with Spring Boot. See, I'm using Hibernate GPU. Okay, so really simple. I was getting a data. Now the data should be now in pagination. So what I have done is, let me introduce every sections. I have my Rust controller over here. I've given a cross origin of star so that my Angular server can connect with uh, my Spring Boot server can connect with Angular server. So I have one simple API call that is post request with a output response as page of company response. And you can see here I have request param page, request param size, and request body request with filters. You can see a request filter what I have in it. I have map of this thing. Now this filter model again have three parameters: filter type, filter, filter type, and the type. This will get this filter type from front end, that is Angular edge grid. When we do filter, then we'll get the input in this format. Okay, and the same what I'm doing is actually this will get the filters with this format. Okay, string, the string will be your column name itself. Okay, it's a you can say it's unique key, so it's a param name. Okay, then column id, these two used to sort uh, with column id. Okay, now I have just get on system method. Now I have rest controllers. Now if you go to the get companies method itself. Okay, now here I have mentioned some static uh, variable. So these are the types of filter we'll get in edge grid. Okay, so you can say here equals, not equals, contains, not contains, start with, ends with, blank and not blank. Now this before moving to this, we need the response in pagination, right? So we need to have a pageable of page request of page comma size. Okay, and then company repository. I'll just go to the, so I'm passing pageable request filter. Oh, okay, so now first we are fetching only plain data, which means we're not filtering or not sorting anything. So what we can do is we can use this company response. Let me show you the company response here. Company response will have id, company name, employee name, description, leave, which means it's a replication, it's a copy of your entity. Okay, if you see my entity, where is the entity? Company. If you see company, even in company I'm having id, name, all those things. Okay, so there's no difference at all, but it's better to use separate class for each thing. Okay, your model layer should be different, your DAO layer should be different. Okay, if you go to custom, so I'm using, first I'm preparing for criteria builder, then I'm preparing for criteria query with company response, then I'm having a root, that's company root, then with company response criteria query. Okay, then I'm using multi-select. So with this I'm saying we need this many columns. See, whatever the parameter we're passing, we should have the same parameterized constructor for company response, the output response. Okay, you can see here I have the same parameter. If I'm not having it, then you will get an error. You won't be seeing, you'll get confused like why we're getting error after this. So we should give same name, same everything, data type, everything should be same. If I'm changing id with company name, then we'll get an error because id is int type and company name is a string type. we don't have parameter of those data type. Okay, so that's what we should specify everything same. Okay, with this we're selecting the actual data from database. Okay, now next is I'm you can see the commented out the codes are uh, we're not doing any sorting or filtering for now. Okay, now I'll have a company, first I'm getting all the data, which means getting total records. Okay, total record from database first. Then what I'm doing is I am now retrieving this specific number of records only. You can see the first and the maximum, the page size. Get result. Then I'm preparing a new page implementation and sending that data. You can see here first company response. Okay, then pageable. Then what I'm doing is I am sending company response register size. Okay, first no need to focus on this get filters. Okay, just this much is enough. If I run this, okay, you will get data with pagination. Okay, obviously you should get the data. Let me, okay, starting. Yeah, it will insert everything. Okay, it's inserting the data. Okay, the data is inserted. So let me refresh the page. Okay, you can see I have pagination enabled. You can see. Okay, but if I do sorting, there's no sorting will happen. Just I'm seeing the same data again and again. Okay, so let's implement the sorting functionality. Okay, so to do this, what I'll do, I'll just uncomment out this code. Okay, nothing. What I'm doing is I'm checking for the request body. I'm trying to get the call ID. If call ID is not equal to null, and sort is ascending type or descending type, I'm just preparing a query for that only. If the sort is descending type, then I'm using criteria builder with descending order by descending. Okay, then if I restart the server now, okay, let me restart it again. Okay, so server is restarted. So let me reload it one more time. So we got the data. Let's sort it now. You can see now sorting is happening from backend. Okay, not from front end. It's a backend. And let me show you the response also, as we won't be getting response at a time. Okay, we'll get just 15-20 record. That's it. If I sort it, you can see here payload is this one. Preview. Oh yeah, we can see preview. In preview you can see here pageable. If you see here, you can see the space size is 15 and sort is empty2. This is pageable, so this is not yeah, the content is the main data. You can see it. We have 14 records only. Okay, that's what, only 14 records. For each request we'll get only 14 record. Okay, now one more thing, as we mentioned caches, so you can see here for every if you move page forward, then you can see the API call is getting triggered and we're getting the response back. Now for every, if I move forward, now the same if I move backward. Okay, let's take move backward. See, I'm not getting any API call here, which means it's working on caches. If I go forward again, it won't call because edge grid having a data, so it's not calling. If I move again, it won't call. If I move again, now it's called because we haven't, the edge grid don't have caches data for a- for the data. Okay, edge grid don't have caches data for the caches. Okay, so this is what about sorting. Okay, sorting is very simple. Now filtering have some little bit tricky, so we need to use a where clause here. So so before commenting this uncommenting this code, let me go to filtering operation. So for filtering operation, what we can do is, see, anyhow we have, we saw this request with filter and sorting. So here we will work off for on this filter model only. So to do that, what we can do is, we can, first of all, we can iterate the map with entry set. If we do that, we will get key and the filter model. This key will be the column name itself, okay? And the filter model we have, three properties: filter type, and the type. Filter is the actual data for which we need to do filter type is a uh, you can say filter type is a type of filter. It may be text, it may be number, it may be anything. The type will be your contents, equals, contents not, start with, ends with, all those. Okay, now if you, okay, this is done. So now what you can do is, you can see here I'm iterating over map. Okay, and I got column name and filter model. So first I'm checking filter model get type or equals. If the filter, if the type is equal, then what I'm doing is, see, I'm passing the predicate list. Okay, let me, yeah, now this is okay. You can see what I'm passing: criteria builder, list of predicate list, root, and request with sort and filter body. Now in predicate list, I'm adding, you know criteria builder. If the type is equal, then I'm adding condition with equal. If not, then I'm adding not equal. If it is contents, then I'm adding like. Okay, if not contents, I'm adding not like. If starts with, I'm adding like with percentage. Okay, if it's ignore equals, sorry, if it ends with, then I'm adding percentage at the end with just same like. If it is blank, then I'm adding is null. If it is not blank, I'm adding is not null. Okay, i'm I'm returning the predicate list at the end. Okay, now the main thing starts here now. Okay, what I'm doing is, I'm preparing a predicate list. Okay, I'm adding all those predicate list. You can see I'm calling get filter here. I'm adding all those predicate list over here. Now you can remove this, or that's fine. So yeah, let me remove this. This is not useful for me to array predicate list to, yeah. So I'm just sorry, I'm adding that to array. Basically I'm converting this predicate list to array. Okay, and I'm adding it to where condition. Okay, now that's it. So let's rerun the program now. Let's start the server. Yeah, so anyway, I'm uploading this entire projects, Angular, Spring Boot, both in GitHub. I'll give the password at the end of this session. Okay, maybe GitHub password is not required. You can just clone it and you can use it. Okay, so that's not an issue. Okay, now just let me reload it. Okay, now contents. So we can see 48. So 48 is not there. 1, 7, 7 is not there. 1. Oh, sorry. First of all, contents won't work with numbers. So what we can do is we can show equals. Okay, 1. Yes, we have. Copy filters. Okay, company contents tells. Just a second. If something wrong happens, employee name Mark. You can see contents working. If I do equals, yes, equals working. If I do not equals, not contents, see, not equals, same. Blank is not blank. Yeah, so this is how we can work with edge grid. Okay, so yeah, I hope you are getting some idea. If not, you can refer the Git repository. I'm uploading all my code to Git repository. I'll mention the link in description. Please go through it and let me know if you have any comments. Yeah, thank you. That's it from my end.